the biggest hater of like men those telling women that they wanted to have a housewife. Like I was like, you're like the worst people to this earth. Like I was like,
I'd be happy.
But then now when I moved here, I see the different side. I would be more than happy if I get a man here that's able to provide for me, so I can provide for my own kids.
Right. Oh, okay.
I said attraction is not a choice.
Like
okay.
even
I didn't say it.
Attraction is not a choice.
I just said that more goes into attraction than the things you're saying. That's all I said.
I talked about the fundamentals that women are attracted and aroused by, which is socioeconomic status, competence, etc. And you're trying to argue that women are not looking for that, which is a lie.
No, I never said that women aren't looking for that. I'm sorry if that's how I came off. I'm not saying women aren't looking for that, but that's definitely not the only thing women are looking for. And there's more intragroup variation than intergroup variation. So there are different kinds of women like different things. Now that doesn't mean women never look for these things, or that doesn't even mean that women, like I told you, that study I just stated, especially when options are restricted, they look for these things more. If they have a bunch of men that can provide for them, then they're going to look for people that are kind. Other things too. IQ, however, intelligence was one of the necessities.
Are options restricted for women though?
So
in 2023, realistically speaking,
if maybe for a kind of men, so it depends. If the woman wants someone to pay her rent and give her a really lavish lifestyle, then yeah. If that's the thing she's looking for, then yeah. But if a woman's just looking for to be taken care of, and that's what she's looking for, and she doesn't have this really extravagant she doesn't want this kind of lifestyle, then she's going to look for, she wants guys that are also kind, maybe intelligent. I told you, intelligence was actually found in the study to be a necessity for both genders. That's all I said.
If that were true, then nerds and guys that are, or dweebs would get all the girls. But so the reality is that
it's a threshold.
No, the man has to meet certain prerequisites first to even get a chance.
I agree with you, but that's true. And part of the prerequisites for men.
But you're overlooking the difficulty of getting these prerequisites. And the reason for that is because you're a female and life is easy for women and you guys don't have to necessarily work to become attractive. Men
I would say that people of lower socioeconomic status who don't make a lot of money may also get married. It's not just that these rich, high status men are the only ones having sex and mating. And if your audience thinks that that's the reason they're not doing well, I would implore them to maybe look at other factors that may be causing it.
We never said that, but what I am saying is that a man's ability to attract and retain women is absolutely contingent upon socioeconomic status.
But then how come men of low socioeconomic status still get a lot of women? They get women.
They might have sex, true, and I mean, if you want to,
they get married too. They have children too.
Yeah, but do those relationships last? Are the women actually satisfied? Are they happy? I would argue no, because divorce rates are through the roof. Women initiate most of them.
So are higher status men getting divorced less? Like I feel like Hollywood shows
they are actually, because once again, men with money and wealthy and influence, they have way more.
That is true. That once, because couples do argue about money a lot. That's true. But this idea that like men who are fit or tall or these things have lower divorce rates is not true.
We're talking about wealth.
The whole conversation started because I said women don't want an equal, even though you think men and women are equal, they're not.
I think they are.
And women are not attracted to equality. You have someone that comes from an egalitarian society telling you right to your face, yo, I like my new boyfriend in America who does not observe equality and egalitarian belief system. That's what I'm trying to say. And she is a microcosm of the larger general scale that I'm saying that women don't want an equal.
Do you want a man who's not equal to you? I'm just curious.
Like,
incredible.
I don't know, like equal in like different ways.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But at the same time, right now here, I've seen this side. Like even before back home in Sweden, I was the biggest hater of like men those telling women that they wanted to have a housewife. Like I was like, you're like the worst people to this earth. Like I was like,
I'd be happy.
But then now when I moved here, I see the different side. I would be more than happy if I get a man here that's able to provide for me, so I can provide for my own kids.
Treats you right and treats you nice. You're not gonna be with someone that you stay here and I'm gonna go fuck with the girl because you didn't feel like it.
But also because it's literally like it's so far left. So like in Sweden, no man gets the amount of money, and the child is a little bit better, but like no man can provide that much money. That's why both parents need to work, and I was very happy with that. But then here, when I see how it is here, if I have a man that could provide for me, and I would die to be able to like raise my own kids. I'm a nanny.
Yeah, that's
period. You guys, I don't know if y'all just heard what I heard, but all that equality and egalitarianism went out the fucking window as soon as she came here, even though she came from a society where everyone was equal, 50-50, blah, blah, blah. But then she gets a taste of a man being a leader, a chivalry, etc. Her being able to be a woman, to be feminine, she likes that more.
So why don't we go backwards? Why are women
but we don't need to be to the extreme right.
Because I'll tell you why. Because they buy into the bullshit that you're going ahead and peddling, saying that pornography is ethical. It's okay. Be strong and independent. Go and chase a career.
But if it's wrong, they're not going to figure it out.
No, but
What?
kids
But
my
if it's
girls,
wrong, well, I mean,
you know what? Here's the
there's
thing.
girls my age that are losing brain cells because they listen to you,
I think
and
they're
they're delusional because they don't have a man or a brother or a father who can be like, hey, listen, this is wrong. You have to do pay attention, look at different perspectives.
I think people should definitely look at different perspectives.
Okay,
Jasmine, I think it's your
academics,
ego.
it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
I don't
You
care what
have
you say.
to
Yeah, you
be
have a
able
big
to look
ego.
at everything
I don't think
and make
it's your
assumptions.
ego,
The
but
problem
I
is
don't
that
think
you
it's
say
my ego,
one
no.
thing
You never
and then
say
it's
you're
like la la
wrong.
la la la, and then all these idiots. I'm sorry, but they're idiots. They just feed to themselves. You have
So this is like Plato's allegory of the cave. Like we're all in the
basically, in
darkness.
other words, feminism is taking over because society's freaking
But it's also
all over the place.
it's the same thing to the other
Because
side.
feminism is higher and masculinity is dropped. That's why there's so much more divorces.
No, but it's also like exact same thing if it's like they're super far right. Like I don't like when it's like so
Okay,
freaking extreme.
okay.
I've seen in the past history everything
Okay,
when
so
it's so
let's say-
extreme to both
let's
sides.
say
Like
it's not-
that's the problem. Like to be honest.
Let's say it's not too. Let's say we're not going far right and we're not going far left.
Yeah,
Let's
we
say
need
we
a
meet in the
balance.
middle, right?
Yeah.
Because I come from a family who has independence. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say when you start a family, the wife always assume, you have a few sons, I believe.
Mhm.
You like to make sure that your son is taken care of, and it's better that you take care of it. Correct?
Right.
Right. Okay. Because you are a mother, you kind of know how to teach your son. You want to make sure he's raised well. So that's the value of what we provide as a woman. You agree?
I agree.
Okay. So for a man, at that case, he's going to work hard, make sure he has his money, and so he can provide for your son or for whatever child you have, right?
Right.
So while you guys see that as equal, it's kind of giving our own values as together. So that's not far left and that's not far right, but that in general is traditional.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that in saying, feminism, and I'm not saying that feminism is wrong, but the extreme that it is today,
the extreme sides
today,
are bad.
which
yeah.
I'm sorry, but you side with it more. And let me finish. Feminism right now is that it's going
18-year-old.
so extreme that these kids don't know what they're learning anymore. They're having teachers that are teaching them that all these different things, whether it's gay or if it's being too girly or being able to provide themselves, is taking over.
Well,
And they need to have a parent. They have to have a mother that's in the traditional side taking over and saying, hey, you need to make sure I have provided you this and this. And you need a father that's doing masculinity to guide your son.
right. But this is the issue. I think feminism comes out of scarcity. Again, we're
It
all
comes
talking
from
about
women.
ideal. Our ideal man is a provider, protector. But life happens and you don't find that or you lack that. So now we become, as a woman, now we have to be the provider. We have to take care of the kids because that man just for some odd reason.
Yes.
What if he came along, but he was too nice? He had glasses. He was awkward when he spoke. Maybe he wasn't the most attractive guy ever, but he came along and he could have been a good boyfriend and her husband long term.
To your point, you said he
she
has to be
missed it.
physically taller than me. He has to be X, Y, and Z. So no. So if
Now he does.
Yeah.
Because women's expectations have went up because they make their own money and they have their own status. So they don't need to settle themselves with a guy that they feel that they're better than. That's my point. That's what feminism has done. And going back with what you were saying, the reason why is because feminism has basically lied to women over multiple decades, telling them to chase a career, make money, be sexually empowered, and there will be happiness at the end of it. And what we come to realize now is that as feminism has gotten stronger, women are taking more antidepressants than ever. More women are reporting less happiness, and it's a lie. And the problem is this: women don't realize that it's a lie until it's too late.
So that's a post hoc. Just because A precedes B doesn't mean A caused B. There's plenty of reasons, and
there's
especially
in the
two
black
parties
community as well
involved with this, men and women. If men became more of what they needed to be, providers, tall, successful, well, it can't become tall, that's irrelevant.
Right.
But providers and the men that they're supposed to be, then less women will be in careers because they could depend on the men. So at the same time, feminine is bad, but if there were more men that were actually men, then it would kind of lower that.
Okay, for an example, okay, no one ever goes into marriage saying, okay, I want to get a divorce. Okay, so let's say you're in a marriage, you both start off when you meet someone, you're dating, we both have jobs, whatever. You get to the point in your marriage, and let's say your husband, whatever, loses his job. For some odd reason, he doesn't get a job right away, right? Let's say 6 months, a year goes by, he can't find work. As the woman, what are you going to do? If your job can cover the bills, he's down on his luck.
Help him find a job.
Okay, but again, that's a masculine trait, right? That's now I'm making more money than him. I'm coming home. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Now I'm catching a fight. I'm having an attitude. Sorry. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, it's out of survival.
This is why men and women aren't equal. When a woman is in a leadership role and she's providing for a man, she starts being bitchy, annoying, the worst. Women are terrible people when they're in a leadership role.
So what does a woman do if she's in that situation?
Pick better men that aren't bums.
So what if he didn't start off as a bum?
Here's the thing. A man that's a go-getter, a man that's a winner, literally the worst that could happen to him, he's going to find a way to make it happen. Winners find a way. Losers find an excuse.
But how do you that's so easy to say. If I met you, you're going to put you're going to tell me what boat you have, the car you drive, your business. And then as soon as you start dating someone, that's when shit hits the fan. You find out all their skeletons. They really don't have the money that they say they have. They just lose their, you know how many people I've been on dates with and in the first 30 days, something happened to their job. And you're like, what the fuck?
Hey, let me ask you a question. If I go out with a girl for 8 months and she doesn't give me sex and I'm just like giving her money and hanging out with her, blah, 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 and she doesn't give me sex, whose fault is it that I'm not getting sex?
Whose fault?
Yeah.
Your own, that you're tolerating that.
Fantastic. It's also your fault for not knowing that guy was a fucking loser despite the boats and the cars and everything else. Just like it's his fault for getting strung along for 8 months and not getting sex because that's what he really wants. It's your fault for not figuring out that guy was a loser from the beginning.
Oh, I definitely know that.
That's what I just said.
But my thing is, it's like you pick and choose your battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, for example, like that question that you guys asked.
You just skirted accountability 1000% just now.
Did I?
Yeah, because
you did. Yeah.
You asked me if it's my fault if I know this guy's a loser. He knows that I'm out of his league, and we both agreed that this is going to be a mutual beneficial agreement. He wanted something that he couldn't have.
No. You're missing the entire point because you were saying, oh, what if you go with a guy, he has a car, his boats, blah, 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 blah. And then I find out later on that he's a brokey or whatever. I'm saying, I use the analogy. If the guy goes out with you for 8 months thinking that he's going to get laid and he doesn't get laid, whose fault is it? Is it his fault for being duped or is it your fault for not giving the sex? No, it's his fault for being duped because he's an idiot and he doesn't realize that you don't really like him. Same exact situation, the functional equivalent, right? Switch it up. The woman that can't detect that the guy's a loser from the first place in the face of cars, boats, etc., the facade, they can't see it beside the smoke and mirrors, is the same thing as the guy that can't get laid for 8 months. They're both retarded and not being able to understand the opposite gender's goals. That's what I'm trying to say.
I have to just... but I don't
see how she disagrees when the accountability is back on females?
No, I'm trying to tell you.
You agreed with me earlier. You do realize that, right?
When you're dating, and everybody's putting their best foot forward. How are you going to know someone's going to be a bum, a year into the relationship? You don't until you find out, oh my God, this person is a bum. And yet now we have a child. Now we're married. And now I have to be the feminist and take over and take care of the household.
That's your fault for picking the wrong guy. The accountability is on you for picking the wrong guy.
I'll take that.
So that's my point. Just like he's an idiot for waiting 8 months.
Yeah.
You're an idiot for picking the wrong guy and having a kid with that retard.
At least we understand now, right?
Like, women need to take accountability for their fuck-ups in relationships as well. If you marry a bum and you have a kid with a bum and you end up being, paying the bills and everything else, you fucked up.
So a man can't fall down on his luck. So no real man can fall down on his luck and not be a provider.
It can happen.
Okay.
But we're just saying, if you pick correctly, it's going to be less of a thing.
And it's going to be temporary.
Any guy
that's a go-getter, that's ambitious, that's that fucking guy, right? He's going to make sure that he's jobless for a small period of time to get back on it.
So if he had something traumatic, like his parent died, a death, something has traumatic happened to his life that he's no longer that protector, provider. He's not that dude anymore.
Fucking well. Okay. Men are not ruled by their emotions like women. Men must do what's required regardless of how they feel. That's just how it is.
Men blame their lives, their child. Oh, my mom, left me and now I'm fucked up.
You picked an emotional man and that's your fault.
Okay.
So the glyphosate
is tough out here.
Yeah, man. You picked an emotional man and that wasn't the way.
We get it.
This is why I tell women all the time, don't pick some emotional guy that's going to be changing his mood all the time and shit. You need a guy that's going to be a rock regardless of what goes down.
Solid.
This is why men and women aren't equal. Because when women are in a leadership role or they're the ones providing or protecting or any of that shit, they immediately get angry and say, fuck this shit. I'm in my masculine. I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. So anyway, where are we at? Did you finish your point, Sweden, or no?
No, I think she